So credit spreads from entry to exit. We're going to talk about support and resistance, the strikes, setting up the alerts, entering the trade, and exiting the trade. That's all the things we need, right? We need to have the chart, the strikes that we pick, set up the alerts, which the set up the alerts is the part that we really hadn't done up till now. Entering and exiting, we've talked about those things. So on Sundays live at 5, I charted Uber. Uber showed up on our option seller trade list. All right, it showed up as an iron condor based on it being neutral on the Peakbot watch list. It came up as neutral. So I looked at the chart to see what was called credit spreads, area put credit spread, right? So these are the strikes that I gave you from the same ones on the graphic, but I charted it out to say, do we want 72? Probably could go up a little bit higher, up to 73, up here for this resistance. This base kind of was based on back here, 72.65. But I said a call credit spread at or above 72 and a put credit spread at or below 66. All right. So we got a gap here that was it was all of this gap from these 2 days, but price action had filled the majority of the gap, and this is all that was left. So what I did though, I set up, after I got our support resistance, got our strike, got our thoughts, yada, yada, I then went to the chart to set up the alerts. All right, this is how we set up alerts. On the chart, I'm going to switch to the chart soon. On the chart, you're going to right click, select create alert, which I'm sure there are people who already know this, but I'm just walking through the steps for those who may not. On the chart, right click, select create alert, where the price says mark. You want to pick at or above. It's got a little spot there, at or above, for your call credit spread alert. Input your resistance price. Right? You input your resistance price, and then write in your note, CCS entry at blank. I think I might have put 72 in here as your note. Then pick at or below 67.3 was what was the support area. Input the support price, and then write in the note PCS entry at 66 strike. So what happened was, after I put these alerts in, basically saying there's support, there's resistance, these are the areas I want the chart to now alert me, and then it gave me a note so that I would know why I had the alert coming, like what are you alerting me for? I have that. And then I could use that note to make the move when the time came. When the time came, I could use that alert to enter my trades. So this is what actually happened. So on Monday, the put credit spread alert got triggered. I believe I put a message or something in the chat that said that the put credit spread alert for Uber was triggered. So I sold the 65.66 put credit spread, and I collected $21. As soon as I entered that trade, the price began to move up because it was at support. So it moved on up from support. That was good to see. Like it almost got to like 60% of the profits by the end of the day. And I was like, I didn't really want to use a day trade, so I let it go to the next day. But on Tuesday morning, I set the closing order, and then I bought to close for $10. I put the closing order in for $10. I bought to close for 10. It means I kept $11 profit, right? On Wednesday, because price ran up from that support, and we were in a kind of tight zone for Uber, on Wednesday, the call credit spread alert triggered. It triggered and said, we at the call credit spread. So then I looked, 72 was a little too close. It had already like passed into 72. And I was like, I'm not comfortable with 72. So I went up to 73. Honestly, you could have done 74. But I felt like because we were at resistance, 73 was going to be fine. So I did 73, 74. I believe I put that into the chat and told everybody that that's where we were, right? 73, 74. Call credit spread, I collected $25. I believe if you had done the next one up, you probably would have collected like 15, 18 or 15, something like that. And then Thursday, I set the closing order for that side, and it closed. So I bought to close for $10 on Thursday, which was today. I kept $15 in profit. So in total, I collected $26 in profit using the $100 of collateral, which 26% ROC, return on collateral. 26% return on collateral. So this is Monday. So this, what you're looking at in the middle here is Monday, right? So this is the 15-minute chart. And we started off the day, it's kind of dancing around. I had an alert here that said if it got down below 67 or 67.50, I think I might have had the alert. If it got below there to let me know. So now this price dropped way down into the zone. Actually, this went down as low as 66.57. Now, what happened in the middle of the day to drop this price like this and then bring it right back up? I don't even know. I just know that the alert triggered. So then I went to look at it and I decided to do the 65.66 entry here, 65.6, because that was, still below this. I probably could have got 66.67, but sometimes it ain't always good to be froggy. But I did 65.66, again, collected my $21, and then price went back up. See how price went back up and kind of hovered around in the 68.50 zone. And then the next day, it did fall back down in here again, but because this little piece here, or it might have been later in the day, that it had done some little movement here and then went on up, then that put credit spread was able to close. I was able to close the put credit spread as the price went on up, because this was still 67.26 was still support. So it just bounced here, got a couple of, if we put on a little line here, a couple of touches to the 67 and some change, right? And then it went on up above there and kept on going. So then Wednesday, notice how price is going up, up, up. This was Tuesday right there, the end of Tuesday. But on Wednesday, price has now gone up to the resistance area because it ran on from support on up until resistance. And because I had the daily resistance set at 72.65, when it triggered it over here in this area, I entered my call credit spread at 73. Now, yesterday, I think I said either last night or this morning, I said I think it was this morning, I told you it closed at like 73.30 is where it closed. And I knew it was breached a little bit. It was like 73.16. I was like, okay, so just keep an eye on it on Thursday morning, which was this morning. I said, just keep an eye on it. If you got into that 73.74 trade with me, keep an eye on it. So then I left it. I put my close order on, and then this is today. Today it dropped right back down to the top of the gap. You see how my note says top of the gap? It dropped right back down to the top of the gap and hovered here. But this was enough. It brought it down enough from this resistance that I had 73. It brought it down enough for it to be worth $10. So I paid my little $10 sometime through the day. It triggered probably in this area. It triggered and I'm out of it. But I mean, even though I got out of it, I couldn't really leave it. So I was looking to see, what would I do? I just came out of Uber. I still see there's opportunity. So I went and looked at Uber to say, what is there an opportunity to go back in Uber for, one more day? Because it is Thursday. Is there an opportunity? Well, looking here, I'm not sure if y'all can see this. Hopefully you can. Looking here, we went up and came back down right to the top of the gap. We were beneath the gap and then it gapped up. This was from the 11th to the 12th, which was Monday to Tuesday was where it gapped up. And we're on both sides of this gap. So we're still in this zone. So I went to go to the same trade basically to say resistance is very clearly at 73 and some change. And support is here below this gap. So I went and did another iron condor for tomorrow. So, hey, if you want to elevate your learning of credit spreads, I do have a training resource for vertical credit spreads. I'll put the link down in the description and you can grab that and be able to go a lot deeper into credit spreads and how they are going to help you to generate nice, consistent profits. All right, check the link in the description. Another iron condor for tomorrow using this same area in this same zone. So that'll close up tomorrow. I think I'm at like 69 and 72 or something like that. It's somewhere around there. It's below the gap. It's on opposite sides of this gap, basically, is my support. My resistance is up here, 72, I think it is. And then I'm at 69, 68 or 69. It might be 68. I feel like it's 68 down here. So my trade is 72. So I'm up here 72, 73, and I'm at 68, 69, and 69 should be right in here. So I'm on opposite sides of the gap for tomorrow's expiration. I think what I wanted to make sure we highlighted is the fact that we identify the trade, we identify our strikes, but now the next thing, the missing element, I believe for us, is to make sure that we're doing the alerts. So I'm going to show you here on the chart, what would we do for alerts, right? I'm on the Uber chart still. I'm here, I'm in the chart. You can right click. I'm just going to right click the mouse. And when I right click the mouse, scroll down, you see where it says create alerts, got a little bell next to it. So I'm right clicking, scrolling down to create alert, create the alert. I click on that. And then the screen pops up. Let me go and erase these things that we don't need. So what I did was what, at or above 72.45, you can leave it like this, at or above 72.45. Then I wrote in this note here, where it says note, this is where I put call credit spread entry 73 or 74 strike. So when this alert comes through, and I have the alerts coming to my phone now, when the alerts come through, I have it on my phone as a text message, and I can scroll back and I can see, because this is what I found, if the alert is on your app, and if you're not looking directly at Thinkorswim, the alert pops up and then it goes away. Now you can go back and click another screen and see it, but if it shows up on my phone, so I can really go back to my messages and see exactly what was said, and then I see the note that says call credit spread entry and look at these prices. So then I go and check out, see which strikes I want for the trade. So then right click here again. I did a right click, create alert. And then like at or, and I changed this right here where it says at or above, I changed it to at or below. And then let's say, do you want to change this to, 60, 67, 40? I mean, wherever it's near your support area, that's what you want to put in this box, something that's close to your support. But you want it to be close enough to where it's not like dead on it, so you get a chance to at least go look, right? 67.40, and then I put in here, put credit spread entry, let's say 65 or 66. So it's letting me know which strikes I want to look at. Now under here, if you want to go down here, you can tell the alert like where to send it to. If you go with notify with, it says notify with here. This is where you fill in what it says. You're going to play a sound. Do you want to bail? What do you want it to do? It lets you hear what it's going to sound like. Send an email to the specified addresses, send a text message. So I have these things set up to send I actually probably should turn off the send an email, because that right there can get on your nerves. And send push notifications to mobile devices, which to me is the same thing as text messages, but I'm leaving it because I just started the text messages and finally working right. And some of this stuff you probably don't need to have sent to you in the message, but I didn't bother any of this stuff down here. And then under options, you've got, I didn't bother any of this stuff either. Alert for reverse crossover, which probably would be good to alert that it goes back across that same line. Yeah, that might be a decent thing to have. If it crosses back across the same line, you hit it, you set that it at least alerts you again. Then it says, do you want to alert a special time, or when do you want it to expire? I don't bother either of these, okay? And then you create the alert. So that way, when the price moves across the line that you set for it, then you're going to get a message. That's going to help you with the timing of our entries, because nobody's sitting around watching, especially if you've got, I mean, our list, our list can be extensive. And if you're looking at 3 or 4 of those, you're not going to sit and just stare at your computer for all 4 of these, hoping to see when it hits the strike. If you can set up the alert, then you don't have to be, watching it so close. Because I always say we want to enter at support, or when it's leaving support or leaving resistance, but then how do you put that into practice? And I feel like the alerts area is a way that we can put that into practice. There's so many ways to make money in the stock market. that you have to, you pick a few. So we want to have as many tools in our bag as we possibly can. That's important to us. But you also want to be comfortable using the tools that you have.